Well, good morning, everyone. I'm here today with a favorite guitar of mine. It's a PRS. It's called the Tonare, and I thought I'd talk a little bit about it today. But before we got started, I had promised that while I was drinking my coffee, of course we have coffee in the morning. It's a late morning for me. I had to go to the dentist this morning and get my teeth cleaned, so now I'm drinking coffee late, but it's good. And I promised a story, so I was thinking about different things, and there was one story that came to mind. Seeing we're coming out of the winter season, I thought I'd better share it now for those of you that have snow outside your window. And but I was brought up in upstate New York, and a lot of people have asked about that sign back there. I have it there because that's the little village that I was raised in. It was called Palatine Bridge. Had a one-room schoolhouse, and of course I had a brother, an older brother. He's 2 years older. And if you've been brought up with an older brother, then you understand my plight as a child. We had a great time together, but it was not without challenges. And one of the things that was challenging about my brother is because he was older than me, we'd go out and play and we'd have a grand time, but he was always faster, did things bigger and better, and everything was always better than what I could even do. And so that was always sort of challenging to me, because when you take him on with a game, I'd always lose. And one particular game that comes to mind is the Snowball Fight. And I don't know how many of you out there had snowball fights with your brothers and sisters, but my brother had a little snowball fight game that he'd play every year. I think I was about 9 or 10 years old when this happened. But we had 30 minutes to build our snow fort. Nobody had a watch on, so I don't know how he knew it was 30 minutes. I think he just called it when he was ready. But nevertheless, he said, we got 30 minutes to build your snow fort. So I would get out there and I'd start building my castle the best I could, and made up all the ammunition I could make up as fast as possible, because I knew he was over there building his, and he was always faster than me. And so he was building his fort this one particular day, and I was building mine, and I got all my ammunition ready, and I had my fort, which I thought was halfway decent, until I looked over at his, and he had built, it looked like a fortress. I mean, it was huge. He went over to some snowbank and was picking up big boulders, and he just piled them up to where he had a major castle. And when you looked at my meager castle, it was, way down towards the ground. And so I heard him say, "Let the snowball fight begin." And his first snowball pelleted my little poor fort, and it knocked off half the wall. And I knew I was in for it. So I jumped behind my what was left of after that one snowball, jumped behind that fort, and I threw my snowballs, and I ran out, and he was just totally destroying everything that I had built. I was losing, basically. It was, and then I started thinking, you know what, I need another weapon. I need something else. And I looked over, and there over not too far from my meager castle was a deposit that our dog had left. Brenda was her name. Brenda left a deposit, and it was brand new. And I thought, oh my goodness, it's time for a secret weapon number 2. And I ran over and I put a snowball around it, made it all perfect packed, ran back to what was left of my meager fort. He was hitting me in the back of the head and hit me with all the snowballs. And I thought, this is my last chance. And I reached back and I threw that snowball, and do you know what? It connected right between his head, right between his eyes, just connected. And he couldn't believe it. He stood there stunned for just a moment as his face was now dirty with my secret weapon. And he started crying, and he ran off to my mother and said, I'm telling Mom, I'm telling Mom. He was always telling Mom something. And I was behind hollering out, I won, I won, I won. It was a wonderful day, a day of victory, because I beat Goliath with a meager snowball. Of course, it was my secret weapon number 2. So I guess I forgot to warn you I was going to tell a story, because you could have just went ahead and fast forwarded it if it was going to drive you crazy. But anyways, let's get to the part that I said I was going to talk about. My PRS Tonare. This is a parlor size guitar, but it's not parlor size tone. It's a fantastic instrument. So listen about this beauty. Has a nice slim neck, 1.68. I changed the strings out today. But not only that, I had to change out the tuners. The tuners that were on there before had these butter beans on them, and one of butter beans broke off. Well, because it was under warranty, I think it's a limited lifetime, and I wrote the company and I told them, what happened and sent them some pictures. They just sent me a brand new set of tuners, and I just changed them out. And of course, they're not the butter bean. It's a black tuner. It doesn't matter. They look good. They work great. They went right back on. Same holes that were there before. I didn't have to do anything. Just pretty much change it out. So here you have a company, PRS, that stands behind their guitars. And very fast response for service. You couldn't ask for anything better than that. So yeah, great company, great guitar. This particular guitar has solid mahogany on the top. You can't see it, but it is mahogany under there. So it makes it a real sweet, sweet sound. If I could play, right? It's very sweet. I changed the strings out to a String Joy. They're new strings that come out of Nashville. They hand wind them there, or machine wind them. I don't know how they make them, but they're very nice strings. The only thing I noticed is a little squawky on the lower end, but even though these are coated, I think they're called Fox Joys. I'm not sure exactly, but they do sell a coated string. But it's not bad. It's good. As far as the string itself, though, I love the tension feel of it, and the tone is absolutely incredible. And the sustain. But a lot of that is because of this instrument. So it does have a solid mahogany top. And with using black, I like that look. It's just very pretty. Beautiful inlay work on that. The backside and the sides are also solid wood. Solid mahogany. Isn't that beautiful wood? Just look at that. And the neck. And I love it when you buy a guitar and they already have the strap button on there. I don't know how many instruments I bought. You end up having to put your own on, and it's always nerve-wracking because you don't know exactly, how the necks are made. Is there some kind of screws going to get in the way? So if you make guitars out there, just put a button on there where it's supposed to go so that we don't have to worry about it. Because chances are, if you're going to play it on stage, you have to have a button on that to have a real nice strap that hangs right. And so I don't know why they leave them off, but it's just very common. And you can see I have this plugged in. I'm not using wireless today, but it's got a nice battery box. That's easy to access. That's awesome. It's a small body guitar. This is not a big guitar. This is only like 13.5 inches across, but it's not without big sound. I'm not careful, I cause it to buzz. It's me, it's technique, it's not the guitar. Because I'm not playing with a pick on that. Okay. The scale is 24.72. That's almost a short scale. I mean, it's more squash, and I like that too because it's easy to reach with this. And you have 14 frets to the body, and its depth about almost just under 4 inches. I think it's like 3 7/8, something like that. It came with bone nut and saddle. I mean, that's awesome. I just a lot of times I'm changing out these saddles and nuts when I get them. I don't remember if I changed out the pegs on it, the bridge pins or not. But right now there's a tusk on there, and I don't know if that came with it. I just don't remember what I did with that. A lot of times they come with plastic pins. And that's not bad. In fact, I've heard some people say that it's better to leave the plastic pin because the pin will wear before the bridge plate underneath. If you put on harder, like a bone pin, then your bridge plate becomes more soft, and that's what wears away. I don't know how true it is, but I heard that. I still change them out because I think I get better sound with bone or tusk. The tusk, not real tusk. We're talking about the company tusk. So yeah, we got 20 frets on it, and it's just a really nice guitar. It has a Fishman on it right now. They come with a Fishman, and it works really well. It has volume and tone right here inside the sound hole. Yeah, so if you're out looking for a guitar that's me. There we go. I don't know what's wrong with me today. Maybe it's because they cleaned my teeth, took part of my brains or something. Anyways, it feels like that when they start picking away. But yeah, so if you're looking for a guitar that's like a smaller body guitar that you can take anywhere with you, I actually take this and play it on stage sometimes when I'm at church. It sounds awesome plugged in. I'm telling you, it's amazing. Usually these little guitars, you can't get that kind of sound out of them. But this one does. I plug it into some pedals, reverb, and use a preamp to kind of make some adjustments to it. But really, it's almost plug and play. It's very clean sounding, and it's just a wonderful guitar. If I travel and I'm worried about taking a guitar, that's more expensive, this is more than adequate. This will meet your needs wherever you go. It's just awesome. So here it is. This is made by PRS. And by the way, the bracing on this is kind of a hybrid bracing. They have the X brace on the top, but the hybrid is that they created fan bracing down here instead of the usual like tone bars that go across. It's a fanned brace, and it creates more projection when you're playing. Yeah, and that's true. Listen to that. Just beautiful, beautiful sound. Okay, so that's what I wanted to share with you today. And so if you're in the market for a small body guitar, I would take a look at this. And if they're expensive new now. I think they're like $700, $800. But I did look online and found that the P20, which they don't make anymore, called the Tonare. They come in different colors. Like you can get the black top, you can get a natural wood, so you can find those. They all have the ebony fingerboard, but they're used for about anywhere. I saw $350, I saw $450, so you can find them. I realize that sometimes you're buying online, you're not really sure, but at that price, a lot of times they'll take it back if there's really something totally wrong with it. But still, it's worth getting. I think they're just great. They're made beautiful. Okay, so I hope you have a nice day out there, or night, wherever you are in this world.